Right, okay, so basically, Blocktober again. And this time, I'm doing this picture here, which I saw today. Just something a bit different. Generic cube. Yeah, so delete that. Center that. Cube, make it quite big. Oh, I can't have this on now, just because it'll get me too pumped too early. Okay, so this might be a bit too big actually, but okay, so right now I'm just looking at getting some basic shapes in there to actually create this alcove. Okay, so quite big so far. And now if we look at our camera, so change the frame width wants to be 1080 and the height must be 920. Bring it out. Okay. Now we want to change focal length a bit. Maybe keep it at 50 or 45. Just kind of get some kind of a look at this dude. Might actually be quite close, so let's go with something like that. Let's bring these down. And what I'm going to do is just kind of mix this up a bit, so there's not very much point in keeping it as a cube. Let's just add some shape to it. Even at this stage, it'll create a better kind of silhouette of parts, which will be quite good. Let's kind of just give a bit of wobble to everything, and then we can kind of flip it, turn it upside down, do whatever we want. Kind of just make it so it looks like it flows. Okay. Kind of rotate things as we see fit. Bring these in. Also do with this. Okay, so there we've got kind of from every side it looks different. Okay, and that's all it is. Hopper, how's it going? Yeah, so hopefully kind of maybe do some more kind of shading stuff. So I'm not going to go into engine just because I haven't got time to do that in these streams, but see what we can do to kind of mix it up a bit. So this actually, you know, might not. Actually, let's leave that out for the moment. Let's keep the shape. Just copy and paste that to get an original. And you know, that's something that we can use for if we wanted to go into ZBrush or something like that, then we always can. Okay, and then let's just kind of just reposition these around. So, you know, rotate it, change up the angles. Let's try and align them a bit more so they blend into each other. And again, just looking at the camera. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad at the moment. Cliffs are quite high, might be good to see some sky out there. So what if instead of having it this way, well, we make it shorter. We also bend it round. Oh, I haven't fixed that thing. To be honest, I've been away this weekend, so I haven't had a chance to fix that shortcut. Use the bend tool to kind of just bring it back around a bit. You know, we can add to, we can always have other meshes breaking up these shapes as well, so all good. And obviously we want to kind of complete the environment a bit more, so we get the correct shadow in and that kind of thing. Lovely. And while we're here, we are just going to save in a project somewhere. Snowy Canyon version 1. And now the other side. Right, so this might be a bit trickier. So what we can do, we can add a loop down here. Kind of bring that out. So I'll just paste that on its own layer so we don't have to have it highlighted. Here's now where we maybe have to change it up a bit. And this as well, maybe we bend it. We may as well just grab what we have, mirror it, paste it. So ideally we want it so that you can see where we've come from, but not completely. Right. It's quite wide here, so maybe we do need to flip it this way. So. Although, I do prefer the other one. Perhaps if we grab them, even though it's out of sight, kind of perhaps push it out a bit. Okay, and then likewise, let's grab these, put them on the other side. These, what the ones are doing, so let's just delete them. Okay. Okay, and then let's just continue this. The other way. Okay, and then this thing, let's bring it in. Make it a bit more thinner. Alright, actually I might just bring it out a bit and do another subdivide. Okay. Again, just want to extend this a little bit. And likewise the other side. Okay, so because even though you can't, should have done that in the other mode, in selection. Even though you can't see this at the moment, you know, we might still reposition the camera. There's going to be lighting information that we can get from this, and it will help with sculpting out the terrain. Okay, so that's quite, so actually I want my ground to be a bit denser, so let's make these squares. And you know, if this is in game engine, you could sculpt, you know, bring everything in there and start sculpting, or you could sculpt the mesh in 3D software and then import that and match the landscape to it. You know, whatever is easiest really. That's fine. And now let's give that a save in case this crashes, and then we want to go to Paint. And let's put this on shaded. Ooh, right. It's brightest on default, right, so we'll go shaded, and we want to change our inactive meshes to same. And then we go to Sculpt Tools and Push. I use right click to just change my brush size, and quite literally just push it up. And the reason why I wanted excess on the side is so that you get this where you basically, I'm adjusting the ground outside the rocks, but that's pulling the other verts with it, because this is, you know, the fall off, a bit like in ZBrush, and it means that we get that kind of snow build up quite quickly. Strength is probably a bit high, but for this kind of first pass it seems to be doing the job. So I think we'll get, so yeah, it looks to be, it needs to be thinner really. I think it's control, yeah, to push it back. So actually change my size and change the strength. Offset amount might be that one, 30%. 5. Yeah, that's better. So here's where I'm kind of pushing it back a bit. And we can shift, smooth it as well. Kind of pull up this bit. Make it a bit higher actually. Oops. A bit more influence. Make the brush a bit bigger too. So it could be that this mesh is actually a bit too, the squares are a bit too dense, so if we do a shift D, smooth, get some more geometry, to about 10 as well. So we might have to adjust the camera a little bit, but that seems doable. Just building up the snow. So sometimes it's quite good to kind of block out the geometry like this in 3D and then bring it into the game engine and then sculpt the land out to it to match it. Just so that you've got something to go on, but you know, we're not going into a game engine with this, so just keep it like so. Here a bit more. Lovely. lovely, and then let's just undulate the ground a little bit out front. And get in here. Like so. Okay. So that's a pretty good place to be in for that. So let's go back to model. And now we grab these that we already have and make them smaller. Probably a different size and shape, to be honest. Basically, I just want this to be kind of thinner in X and Z, and then kind of taller in Y, so that we can almost do like columns with it. So kind of a bit chunkier. Oops, just kind of change these a little bit. Just mix this up. Okay. So, might look a bit rounded on the sides, might be better to kind of have some square shapes, or at least some sides with that going on. Try and make it not look like a potato. Like so. And then kind of just mix these up a bit. Sort of getting there now. So essentially you could, we're doing the blockout for, we'll use these stones later on, sculpt upon if you're taking it that far. The basis, and you're checking, like, by getting the rocks different now, they're going to end up different in the sculpt as well. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Need that open, needs pure F open, there we go. Okay, so then we go rock, B. That's A, quite stiff, and that's B, kind of smoother. In fact, this needs to be taller as well, but also the base looks a bit weird. I don't know, it could just be that corner there. Let's just move that up a bit. Let's check that that's all looking okay, yeah. Copy, paste this. Actually, could probably make it a bit taller. And start adding this into the scene. So see where it comes up. both of them. Maybe just rotate them a bit. It's always better to rotate things in like this and just kind of look at the shapes and see what comes out. I'll tell you what I should have done. And I normally do this, but I normally UV them when I block them out so that we can utilise those UVs later on, just because it's so easy, quick and easy to UV at an early stage, Modo especially. So now we're basically just refining the cliff a bit, and you know, having these edges to catch off is quite nice. So it could be that we need to layer something else on top there as well, another vertical one. Just looks a bit weird with them. Maybe something like that. Not bad. Just kind of gradually add detail. Just gonna spin this round. Use the silhouette to get kind of a softer fall off up there. And that's it, it's just layering it up really. So kind of this is our mid detail. And what we can do as well, like we've done with everything else, copy paste it, move it down a bit. Let's do it like that. See what it looks like if we spin it the other way. So again, what's that? Yeah. So then just kind of adjust things as you see fit. alright. And now we take all of them. So actually could move this down a bit as well. Lovely. Paste again. Yeah. Last bit. Well, apart from the front bit. So here I kind of like seeing this bit here. So maybe somewhere around there. Looks alright. So I might just mirror that. Okay, so there we've kind of got on our medium pass, and now I think it'll be a good time to get in some smaller rocks, and then we can have a look at shading. Go from there. So let's again just grab the same thing and really bring that down in scale. Because you could also just take in that segment and, you know, beef it out a bit, and you've got another what do you call it, another rock. So let's do something similar. Just kind of do that. Oops. Actually, I might be a bit too small at this stage. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's grab one of these again. Bring it down. Make it a bit smaller still. trying to get some of this kind of build up. Just kind of got to be a bit more careful with it. Kind of do it in, you know, stages, because if you just use, you know, large shapes, just plonk them down, it's not, you want to try and get the block out as close to kind of the final look as you can, and at least doing it this way you can, you know, layer things up a bit more, which gives you kind of that natural fall off too. And yes, it eats time doing this, but it's time that you eventually save a lot later on, because you're not guesstimating this. So it's in, everyone knows what it is, you can just build upon it, and you know, everyone else can build upon it too. You know, like designers, narrative designers, sound, because you know, what if there's snow and rock, maybe they can change the audio. If you've got any NPCs, they know where they can go and where they can't go. Okay, so gradually, you know, I might make that smaller. Yeah. And gradually kind of get the layer going here. Ugh. Come on. You know, checking it in the camera. Just check it's all lining up in a nice way. Now I know this guy's a bit further back and on a horse, but it's probably not going to be in the final scene anyway. Still good to get the kind of general gist of it. So it could be that the camera needs to be slightly higher now. So I'm actually just going to duplicate the camera. Camera 2. So it might be actually, we need to move, I'm just going to save that, save it as a new version. move all the rocks on this side so they're closer. Let's see what happens. That it's meant to be close. I mean, that's pretty damn close, if you ask me. Okay, and then let's go back to sculpt mode. Bring it out a bit. Get some modulation in there. Okay, it's kind of a bit better actually. Now we're getting more of a gap here, but I think we could still do that kind of arching over, which would be quite good. So I'm going to save that, back to model, grab this stuff. Kind of find it in the viewport. There we go. Bring them over again. Now we're going to get that curve, that line into the image as well. smaller. And then I wonder if I can do anything with the same kind of thing to help with that curve down here. Probably on this one. Smaller. Just pushing it out, and that might do quite a lot. What's this? Oh, okay, so we're actually at the end of the tunnel down here. Kind of get a bit of a slow on that edge, which might be quite nice. Yeah, I think I might stick with that for the moment. Back into these bits. And then kind of gradually just pull pieces up, see what they look like. Alright, so let's grab all that again. New layer, rotate it around, start filling up the background. And you know, because of these shapes, we can try and squeeze them into kind of more natural positions. You know, make these bigger, some smaller. Because we want to make this path look quite treacherous, that's what the impression I'm getting from the picture. Do here, mirror it, rotate it, move it in so that we get like another angle. Lovely. Yeah, I think that will might do for the moment. Just do one more. Okay, that looks okay. Right, so might be an idea to quickly have a look at shading. We've got an hour. Can set dress this a little bit. Add the story. Let's give it a save, and then let's give everything the same material. Rock. Material. So let's push it into blue a little bit. Likewise, a little bit into blue. I never remember which way the roughness goes in this, but yep. And then trans we don't need. It'd be good to have a bit of bump on it, so maybe we push that to 5 might be enough, you know. And we also, so now we also need to make a material, another material. So that's our snow material, and we have rock material. Sorry, this is off screen, I know. Let me just get a window so you can see what's going on. Okay, so basically it's like this. So we have two materials, rock and snow. Rock down. It's bound to be a bit icy under there, isn't it? Put it on 10. Let's just kind of tone it right down. I'll just bring this down as well. And then on the snow mat, let's make sure that this is turned up a bit. Okay, and now let's just save that. Add layer, we want processing gradient, and then we drag this onto this, so essentially it creates a layer mask, and then on the gradient, edit gradient, want it on the slope. Where are you? It's been a while since I've done this. Distance to locator, could be that. Oh man, is it that? I thought there was one that was literally called, yes there was, called slope, yeah. Okay, so now, well basically let's to check that we've got the right one going on, let's put it on the top. And let's get red and blue. Okay. So at 0 degrees it's red, at 120 degrees it's put at 90 degrees it's blue. And now if we go, can we change it to, hopefully this won't crash. Okay, so here we go. Let's check it on here. Shiny. so that's bluer. Bring the red down this way. And then let's just get just a default material for the moment, so we can actually see what we're doing a bit more. And change the light so we can actually see what's going on. So you see now we're only getting red bits on like flatter stuff and blue bits on the other stuff, so we can essentially have rock on the blue and snow on the red, and then it's kind of just a balancing act to see how far we can push this. So what if we move this? And this is why it's quite nice to work in colour, so you can actually visually see what's going on a bit more. So that's on 80 degrees. So what if we put on 85? Let's kind of clamp it a bit more. So, you know, something perhaps like that. And Mortimer, how you doing? Long time no see. You done with school yet? Okay, so I think this is good. So gradient tester. Duplicate this. Get rid of that. And then we want to just change this. So 76 degrees. So value 76 degrees, and what's this one? This is on 81 degrees. Let's get rid of all of that. So now the snow is coming through where it's on 100%. So if we were to invert this, I think, can we do it on here? I can do it on there, can't I? It will flick so the other side, so the rock coming through in the wrong place. And that's how you do it, really. So now let's tone some things down. So this, for example, it's kind of more icy, maybe even less. What would we go if we get rid of that? So that's the reflective quality. highlighter. And let's put some rounded edge width on as well. So we get kind of that soft build up. I think one might be too much. Even that seems a little high. Okay, so let's just do 0.25. Just smooths off the edges a bit. Now we've lost a lot of detail on the floor, so we need to kind of mix that up. Finished large graduate event, it's start of next month, but I finished working on it a couple of months back. Looking for jobs at the moment. My eyes on game dev one that I have the test for. Nice. Hello, Game Master. Yeah, good. Great. Well, good luck with it. Let us know how it pans out. Okay, so that's looking fine for the moment. So let's add some stuff to this. So actually, we've got this as a layer mask, but we want to add more layers to the snow material to make it look like snow. So another way we can do that is by creating a group, and we call the group snow, and then we change the gradient to be a group mask. Put the snow material in that. And now let's add a noise. This is diffuse color at the moment, so that'll overwrite, which is good. Text locator, just zero all of this out and make this 1. Okay, so maybe let's have one that's a bit broader, which is, that's 0.2. How broad's that? Quite broad. 5. Okay, so 0.5 is good. And then let's get another one, duplicate that, and make this 10 millimeters. Might be a bit too small. And let's also bring up the gain. Yeah, I think it's a bit too small. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, I believe that's 50. Okay, so let's turn that off for the moment. So we have our broader bits, which is good, and we'll just change this to be bump. Ah, sorry, wrong one. That's the broader one. Change that to be bump. So because it's white, probably not seen its effect. I wish you can see it up there. But let's change the light. I think it's coming through a little bit, but let's up the snow material. What was it? 5? 0.25. There we go. Maybe a bit more. Maybe change the size of it as well. Snow material. What's it? 50. 0.1. Okay, you know, it's getting there. So that's large noise. Just rename that. This is small. So let's put this on as well. So this obviously massively changes it. So let's turn it down. Maybe just make it slightly bigger. So you still get the broad stuff coming through, but we just get a bit of detail on the top. And what could also help this is if we duplicate the large. Now this might not work, but then use that to mask the small. So instead of getting it kind of everywhere, actually let's just, so we can see what's going on. Let's put this on 50%. So it's covering everything. And if we put the mask on, bollocks, it still covers everything. Maybe this needs to be increased a bit. Let's turn this up to 100. Yeah, okay, so there you go. You can see now a lot clearer where the detail will be coming through and where it won't be. So when we knock this down, kind of less of a blend. So if we now, let's back down to 5 degrees, 5%, sorry. Turn this up to 90. Kind of get rougher bits. Down to 80. Okay, so that's looking all right. And now for the rock underneath. So this we could do with some strata. I'm pretty sure they have something that, yes it does, strata effects. So let's turn the snow off. Have a look at how this strata works. Like so. So we want texture layers, planar in cubic might be better actually. Planar. And we rotate it. There we go. Let's make it 5 meters. 2 meters. And then let's kind of you set it here. Okay, that's good. So if we go back, well, it doesn't really matter. If we go back to cubic, and it's set to X, so that's good. What does this do? Not sure. Okay. So it's a bit more blurry. So, might be good to have a larger one and a smaller one. So if we go 0.1 to 4. Down to 0.5. Like so, and then increase this to be something like 4 meters. And then we make this a bump. And we increase the bump. Okay, so that's on 200, because this, so did I put it on the wrong? I did. And what if we so let me change my light so I can see a bit more of what's going on. Just getting some bump in there, but to up it too much, just because we'll start coming through in other places which won't be particularly great. So this is diffuse colour, that should be okay. Let's up it. And let's change gain to be less. Less again. And let's overlay this. Back and forth a little bit. stretching it out, I might just leave it. Okay, so put this back on overlay. 50%. Let's get rid of the other one for the moment. I suppose in a way it's only a blockout, so it doesn't need to be completely perfect. Let's just get that rendering a bit. What we could do is get another, delete that, get another layer. Just some kind of etch might do it. Just turn that off. Etched. Okay, and then perhaps something like this. Just make it quite large. And then change it to bump. Actually might be better than the strata. So duplicate it. And make this might be too high. Yep, and then the rock material will just crease. Yeah, that's much better. And then this one is over the top. We'll give it rather another seed, and we'll make this 5 meters perhaps. And we'll also decrease its bump effect. Yeah, that's much better actually. Get rid of the spec. Ah, what? Much better. Turn the snow back on. And then that takes into account the gradient as well. So now the gradient could do with maybe just tweaking this slightly. So it's, what if it was 180? It needs to be the other way. So if it was 76, and that would go 78. Oops. So you get weird effects when you kind of do like that. What was it? 77. We need to put it on. 77. But something like that seems alright. And now we could do with adjusting the camera. So look at that. Okay, and now let's go back into our modelling. Oops. And electron and blur. I forgot my headphones at work, so I'm watching on my phone. Lol. I mean, if you're still at work, that is not a great sign. But how are you doing anyway? Well, unless you're, you know, in another time zone, then obviously I have no idea what time it is. Oh, I've been moving my direction like bollocks. Well, so now I can freely add meshes, and the slope will automatically update. So I can kind of try and get this kind of stepped. Why isn't copy and paste working? Kind of ruining the curve, but not too bad. And actually what might help more with this is if we grab one of these, center it, make it quite small, move it into position, just go with that, like so, center that, just shifty this, smooth. It's less pointy around the edges, like so. Okay. We call this snow mound prototype, and we get a surface particle generator, and we want to recall what's called ground. In our SPG, we plug in the ground, change this to be like 1 meter, and then on here we want to go into paint mode again, put it on vertex map this time, and create a weight map. Yep, and we'll just call it mask. And we go vertex map, set value, weight to be 0, and then we paint on the vertex map. Why isn't this working? Value is 100%. Paint tool. Vertex merge tool, sorry. There we go. There we go. And we just paint all the way down here. Like so. And you've got kind of different, zones. Make stuff redder, make some not. Just realised I haven't saved it for a while, so I should probably do that. Vary it up that size, we get that fall off. Okay, so that looks pretty great. Back to model. We'll go back to the surface particle generator, and then we do a density map with the particle mask. I don't think it's showing. I might not have it selected so it can show. But anyway, then get a replicator. These can be frozen as well, which is great. So on here we want our snow mound, and as our point source we want our surface particle generator. Okay, and then on our replicator, to change the scale so it's more, maybe really up it. A bit too big there. And we increase the particle distance between each other, and also on the replicator we change these. And the replicator itself can drop. So if we drop it to something like that, and then on our, so on the replicator itself, we change it so they're broader. Still, again we drop this. Now this could look awful, but it's worth seeing. Should be the same thing, so let's have a look in here. This might slow down the stream a bit, but we'll see. So they're probably a bit too large. Again. Okay, so what we could do it now is back into paint mode, and we want to paint on the ground, the particle mask, and I want to take off anything at the side that's too high. So we only get it on the floor itself. Overly ambitious in the first pass, but hopefully this will help. Back to model. Turn the replicator and the surface particle generator back on. Put this back at 0. So we're still getting some bits there, but we can. Paints and this might slow down a bit, but we can essentially just paint this out. So check again, that looks fine. Got run out of time a bit on this now. So this happens to be, there are ones in front of the camera, so let's get rid of them. Where's the camera? There. So the camera's quite low on the ground. Just be easier to just paint them out in that foreground. Okay. Now let's those down. Particle generator. Add some more texture to the base. It might not add that much because we've got quite a lot of bump going on. rounded edge shader helps a lot. This. Get rid of that. Actually, that might work. What if I now increase this? So I think it might actually have to be like a half and a half jobby. So put that on 70%. What if we make this 20%? And then move this up again. Change the camera. Just turn this off for the moment. So the sun is at the front. Must be, yeah. Okay, and then let's turn the snow back on and get the environment on. So 2-color. We did some sort of orange setting sun. More interesting. Although there'd be more shadow there. Actually, to be honest, the replicators don't add that much. So what have we? Yeah, the light's going to be more like that, which probably wouldn't be as good. So let's make these midday blue. And while I'm here, I want to change the gradient slope to be tighter. So what's that, 76, 78? Good. Yeah, could have done with more story in this one, because it's only like 2 materials. But oh well. Could probably do with is the... Ooh, Bozza. Thanks for the follow. What am I looking for? I was changing my light so that it's not as bright. Let's see how that turns out. Ah, that's the prototype mesh. Need to get rid of that. Ooh, getting a shadow. I'm guessing that's... Ooh, yeah, I wonder what's causing that. Ah, it was a shadow, yeah. But even just decreasing it a bit helps make it look colder, doesn't it? Maybe there's some tiny bit of warmth to it. Might start looking green though, that's the only problem. So actually, it's not too bad. What if we change the lighting now? Actually, also what I might do is give this just a rock material, and we duplicate, sorry, pause that, duplicate all of them into the rock material, and then we turn on the replicator. So now we have rocks, good. Change the average spacing. Okay. And let's change. Okay, and change this. So get in there a little bit, and what we could do now to help with this, back into here. Yep. Something like that. Back to model. Okay, and now one last thing, because I realise I'm basically out of time. I'm going to duplicate this and set it to our evening again. See what this looks like. So we could have it so this. Sorry, let me think. Let's duplicate this. So that's that, and that's that. It's a bit weird. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, yeah, it's off screen at the moment, but basically I've got the blue in my environment, just so you can just let me show you. But I'm basically faking it. So if I go into my shader tree, down at the bottom I've got two environments. One is only visible to the camera and the other is not visible to the camera but visible to everything else. So essentially, the one that's visible to the camera, I've got my sunset sky, which is this gradient, and the one that's visible to everything else has got the blue one and the orange one. So I've left it the same intensity. I have the blue one on the bottom at 100% normal, and have the orange one on top set at 50% normal. So that's it with just the blue on, and that's it with the 50%. So it probably looks a bit wrong still, you know, because it's massively faked, but we're still getting kind of the white snow, but still picking up some of the you know, the sky, as it were. Just kind of having to play about with, seeing if I can get a better gradient. But even though, you know, there's not very much going on in the scene and I haven't had time to do the set dressing, but in a way, gives a bit more to go on. Might be, see if we can up the diffuse on the rock so it's not as dark. But yeah, can't really see shadows in here. And we still get kind of an interesting picture. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it.